Listen carefully, because this is where most men lose without ever realizing they agreed to lose. Pace is power. Whoever controls the speed controls the destination. And when she controls the pace, how fast things move, how slow they stall, when attention is given, when it's withdrawn, when closeness happens, when distance appears, she controls the outcome. Not because she's smarter, not because she's stronger, but because you allowed your rhythm to be replaced by hers. This is not about rushing or slowing down. This is about sovereignty, about whether your life moves according to your standards or someone else's comfort. Men don't get dominated all at once. They get paced into submission. One pause at a time, one delay at a time, one condition at a time, until they look up and realize they're reacting instead of leading. Pace is invisible leverage. You don't feel it until it's already working on you. At first, it looks harmless. She wants to take things slow. She wants to see how it goes. She wants to feel it out. Sounds reasonable. Sounds mature. But watch what happens next. You wait. You adjust. You hold back. You postpone your direction to accommodate hers. And without noticing, you've surrendered initiative. Men think control looks like commands. It doesn't. Control looks like timing. Whoever decides when things happen decides how things end. If she decides when you talk, when you meet, when things escalate, when they pause, when they resume, you're no longer in your frame. You are orbiting hers. A man with direction sets pace naturally. He doesn't rush. He doesn't stall. He moves with intention. He knows where he's going, and he invites others to walk with him. He does not stop walking to negotiate every step. He does not slow his life to match uncertainty. He does not speed up to chase validation. He moves forward, and whoever keeps up stays. Whoever doesn't fades out. But when a woman controls the pace, she is testing something fundamental. Whether your direction is real or conditional. Whether your confidence exists independently or only in her presence. Whether you will pause your mission to preserve access. And most men do, because they mistake patience for passivity. They mistake accommodation for strength. They think being flexible will earn respect. It won't. Respect follows leadership. Leadership follows decisiveness. Decisiveness requires pace. If she controls the pace, she controls your emotions next. Because pace dictates anticipation. Anticipation dictates anxiety. Anxiety dictates reaction. Reaction dictates loss of frame. And once frame is lost, the outcome is already written. Men lose outcomes long before the end. They lose them at the moment they surrender tempo. Watch the pattern. She slows responses. You wait. She delays plans. You rearrange. She hesitates on commitment. You reassure. She accelerates intimacy. You follow. She pulls back. You chase. Notice who's always adjusting. Notice whose nervous system is reacting. That's the man who's losing. A man in control of pace is calm. He is not rushed by excitement. He is not stalled by fear. He does not let momentum be dictated by moods. He sets a rhythm and lives inside it. Others adapt or exit. That's not cruelty. That's clarity. When she controls the pace, she controls the emotional highs and lows. She decides when you feel close and when you feel distant. She decides when you feel secure and when you feel uncertain. And that emotional volatility becomes leverage because humans crave relief from uncertainty. And whoever provides relief gains influence. Strong men do not outsource relief. They do not need someone else to regulate their internal state. Their peace does not depend on timing cues from outside. They can sit in stillness without anxiety. They can move forward without permission. Here's the truth most men avoid. If you're waiting, you're not leading. Waiting feels harmless. Waiting feels patient. Waiting feels respectful. But waiting is submission when it replaces movement. A man can be patient while moving. He cannot be patient while stagnant. Stagnation erodes authority. A woman who respects you will not need to control the pace to feel safe. She will align with your direction. She will communicate openly. She will match effort. She will not play with timing to test you. And if she does, it means she does not yet trust your stability, or she is seeing how much control she can gain. Either way, the response is the same. You do not chase tempo. You maintain yours. Maintaining pace does not mean forcing outcomes. It means being willing to let outcomes go. That's where men get confused. They think leadership means pushing. It doesn't. Leadership means moving forward without attachment to who follows. That detachment is what gives pace its authority. That if she says slow down and slowing down aligns with your values, fine. But if slowing down contradicts your direction, you don't argue. You continue moving. And she either adjusts or she doesn't. That's alignment. That's power without aggression. Men who allow others to dictate pace lose leverage because they lose predictability of self. They become reactive. Their days revolve around responses. Their mood revolves around timing. They stop living and start waiting. And nothing kills respect faster than a man who waits for permission to move. Pace also reveals intention. Someone who wants something moves toward it. Someone who is unsure stalls. Someone who wants control manipulates timing. When you see this clearly, you stop personalizing delays. You stop internalizing pauses. You stop chasing momentum that isn't yours to create. Here's another hard truth. When she controls the pace, she is deciding how much of you she gets. Your time, your energy, your attention, your emotional availability. And if you let that happen without boundaries, you become an option instead of a priority. Options wait. Leaders move. Men often confuse chemistry with compatibility. Chemistry can accelerate pace artificially. Compatibility sustains pace naturally. If she controls the pace through chemistry spikes and sudden withdrawals, you are being conditioned. Conditioned to associate her timing with your emotional reward. That's not connection. That's control. A man who understands this keeps his tempo steady regardless of external fluctuations. He doesn't spike when things are good. He doesn't crash when things slow. He remains consistent. And consistency is the antidote to manipulation. That if she speeds things up suddenly, he doesn't abandon discernment. If she slows things down abruptly, he doesn't abandon direction. He observes. He adjusts investment, not identity. He remains himself. Outcome follows pace because pace determines who compromises. The one who compromises more loses outcome control. Compromise is not weakness when mutual. It is weakness when one-sided. If you're always adjusting your rhythm to accommodate hers, you're the one bending. And bent men break. Strong men set expectations through action. They don't say, "I lead." They demonstrate it by how they move through time. They schedule. They decide. They follow through. They don't hover. They don't linger. They don't drift. When she controls the pace, conversations happen on her time. Decisions happen on her comfort. Progress happens on her readiness. And you become a passenger. Passengers don't choose destinations. They accept them. That a man who wants control of outcome must reclaim control of pace. That doesn't mean speeding things up to force resolution. It means refusing to stall your life to preserve uncertainty. It means continuing forward with or without validation. If she wants to pause, you pause emotionally, not existentially. You don't stop building. You don't stop moving. You don't stop choosing. You simply stop overinvesting. And that shift restores balance. The man who controls his pace cannot be rushed into mistakes or stalled into submission. He cannot be pressured into overcommitment or delayed into desperation. He knows his rhythm. He honors it. And that steadiness commands respect. Let's be clear. This is not about dominance over women. This is about dominance over self. Because any man who cannot control his own tempo will always be controlled by someone else's. Life tests men through timing, delays, accelerations, pauses, interruptions. The man who stays grounded through timing changes becomes unshakable. The man who panics loses himself. If she controls the pace, she controls the outcome unless you step out of the game. And stepping out doesn't mean disappearing dramatically. It means refusing to let timing games dictate your emotional state. You don't need to confront pace control. You outgrow it. You continue moving. You let silence exist. You let delays pass. You let acceleration slow naturally. You remain centered. That a man who is centered makes others adapt. A man who is reactive adapts himself into nothing. Outcome is not about winning her. Outcome is about winning yourself. Because when you win yourself, the right people align effortlessly. The wrong ones fall away without drama. If she controls the pace, ask yourself one question. Is this aligned with my direction? If the answer is no, you don't argue. You proceed. And in proceeding, you reclaim outcome control. Remember this. The calmest man who keeps moving forward sets the tone for everything. He does not beg time. He does not fear pauses. He does not chase momentum. He creates it through consistency. Now understand this clearly before you go. This channel is for men who are done being paced into confusion, done surrendering outcomes through hesitation, done waiting for permission to live their lives. If this message sharpened your awareness, if it reminded you where power actually lives, then act. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. This is real talk for men who choose direction over drift, discipline over desperation, and self-mastery over submission. Stay grounded. Set your pace. And remember, if she controls the pace, she controls the outcome.